Okay, we're on Masechta Shabbos.
Everyone mute, please. Everyone mute.
It's Motzei, well, but please participate. If you want to say something, unmute yourselves. So tonight is Motzei Shabbos, March 21. Masechta Shabbos Daf Tez Zayin. So we finished up by saying that glassware, Rav Meir said, requires Tvila because it's been compared to metal kalim. Because if a glass had a hole in it, they would plug it with molten lead. And since it becomes a maimid, means the glass would leak. Without this maimid, it becomes the most important part. Then they also said that kli zechuchis, glassware, is like kli cheres. Kli cheres because it's made out of sand. So the Gemara says if that's the case, lo litni megabon. So just like a kli cheres, an earthenware kli, it becomes tameh if you dangle in the airspace of the kli a dead sheretz or a piece of nevela. It doesn't have to touch the inside. Certainly if it touches the inside, it's also matame. But even if it's just dangled in the airspace, it's matame. But if you touch the outside of the earthenware pot, it doesn't convey tumah. So therefore, glassware should have the same halacha. That is, if you touch it on the outside, it should not be matame. So the Gemara wants to know, Allah Matnan, how come it has in the Mishnah, Klei Cheres, earthenware, Klei Neser, and Kalim, Klei Neser, their tumah is the same, meaning mitame umitame mavireyan. They can become mitame through their airspace. Umitame machreyan, if they have a sort of a receptacle on the undersurface of the kli, can also be mitame there. However, ein mitame megabeyam. If you touch their sides, they don't convey tumah. And ushvi rasan mitarton. If you break the kli, of course it's mitarit. Implying klei neser klei cheres u'dim tumah shavik aval midi achriyin. Only klei cheres is equal, but glassware is not equal and is not mitame. Well, why should it be mitame megabeim like klei cheres? Amri kiva di nishtabu yetlan takona shvinu kli matches. Since glassware, if you break it, you can fix it. I guess you could melt it down and then make more glass. So it's similar to metal. It's more similar to metal than klei cheres regarding that issue, and therefore it would be mitame by touching its side megabe. Says the Gemara, Elamayati Yasru L'Tumosim Yishana. We're going to learn a special din by metal kalim that, let's say they were tameh, and you broke it. You broke the kli. So now it's tahor. But now if you reassemble the kli, it goes back to its original tumah. So the Gemara says if you're going to compare glassware to metal kalim, Yasru L'Tumosim Yishana, Kekli Matches, it should also revert back to its original tumah, like metal kalim. Where do we see that it does? That it's not. Klei matres, metal kalim, pshuteim umikableim tmei. So whether, like for example, a metal spoon, has a base kibul, has a place, a receptacle. But for example, a metal spit, right, like a straight metal bar that you use.
Even a knife. How about a knife?
A knife, because it's got a serrated edge, perhaps it's more complicated. A kli pashut is something that's really mamish nothing, like a metal bar. Now, a metal bar you can use to stir the coals in a barbecue. Now we're going to see, for example, a wooden kli pashut is not mitame. For a wooden kli to be mitame, it has to have a base kibul. It has to have a receptacle spot. Like a toothpick would not be. That's a wooden kli pashut would not be makabel tuma. But a metal kli
or a
pashut,
swizzle stick. A mixing stick.
so a mixing stick, if it was metal, it's a kli pashut. But if it was made out of wood, it would not be. So that's a good nafkamina.
All right.
So the Gemara wants to ask though. So it says like this: if the metal kli was tamei nishbaru toru, if you break the metal kli, it becomes tor. Chazer v'asam and kalim. But let's say now you melt it down and you pour it back into a form and you make a new kli from it. Chazru l'tumas and yeshana. They go back to their original tumah. We'll see whether that applies to all tumas or only certain tumas. The ilu gabi kleis chochisna, but regarding glassware, it says kli eitz, wooden kalim, or leather kalim, ukli etzem kalim made from bone, ukli chochis glassware, pshuteim tohorim. So a kli that doesn't have a base kibble, like Harold said, a swizzle stick, just a stick, they're tohor. Only if they have the base kibble, these kind of items can become tamei. And if they become broken, they become tor. Now, let's say you've broken it, but now you somehow reform the kli. It does not revert to its old tumah. It means from now, if something tamei touches it, becomes tamei. Mikana lahaba in alon afrei Allah, but there is no tumah yeshana like there is by metal kalim. So if you wanted to say that glassware kalim are like metal kalim, how come they don't revert to a tumah yeshana like metal kalim? So the Gemara answers.
I don't understand the logic.
Hello?
I don't understand the logic how if you take apart and break it's not a keli anymore. So when you put it back together, why should it become a tumah? It's a brand new thing. Why should it be get the original amount of as it was tummy from the beginning? If you're not repairing it, you're just it's broken. It's a nothing anymore. It's just a piece of glass.
So the chacham. So this is so the tumah yeshana is a gzeira. The fact that we say when you reform the metal kli after you broke it and it goes back to its original tumah, that's a gzeira midrabanan. Now you want to know why? We're going to get to there. It's a rabbanan.
Let me ask you: if you have a avodah zarah and you grind it up, and then you take it and you reshape it back into a form of something else, does it get the avodah zarah back in there?
No. It's a din. This is a din of tumah v'tahara. When you grind up the avodah zarah, now avodah zarah is one. You mevatel the avodah zarah by grinding it up.
Okay, so why don't you say the same thing by tumah tahara?
You can't. The goy has to. If a goy is mevatel and avodah zarah, then it's no longer avodah zarah. So
that's only if you grind it up.
Yeah.
If you only grind, you see, those. But let's say so. If you take it in a war, you get booty, and you take it and you don't know if that thing has been used for avodah zarah. You grind it up and you
can't use it.
It back into
a Jew cannot be mevatel in avodah zarah, so because it's osir even b'mashu, and it's osir b'ano as well.
Even if you grind it up and make it
even if you grind it up, it's osir b'mashu.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Now, this thing that Elazar is questioning, why should it be? So it's a tumah d'rabbanan. Now, but now we're going, why doesn't glassware assume the tumah of klei matches? So the more answers. The whole tumah of glassware is only a tumah d'rabbanan. Me'ikar adin, glassware is not mekabel tumah. Chachamim made it. So therefore, and tumah yeshana is d'rabbanan. This whole thing that we say that the tumah reverts after you reform the kli is only d'rabbanan. So as we know, You don't make we don't make a gzeira on a gzeira. The whole tumah yishon is a gzeira. Well, the whole reason why glassware is tum is also a gzeira. So there's no gzeira on a gzeira. But betuma d'oraisa achisu be'rabbanan tuma. That means it says in Milchemes Midyan that you could not use the metal kalim. So on a gzeira d'oraisa, on a tumah d'oraisa, the chachamim can make a gzeira of tumah yishon. Betuma d'oraisa achisu be'rabbanan tuma. The tumah d'rabbanan, which is a glassware, the whole tumah is only glassware. Lo achisu le'rabbanan tuma. There's no gzeira on top of gzeira. There's no tumah on top of tumah, since the original tumah is also midrabbanan. Okay, and so Elazar, we know that in Dinei Doraisa, Chachamim can make a gzeira. So regarding metal kalim, they made a gzeira. Right? It says pshuteya mialitma. The Gemara says fine. We said that metal kalim, even a swizzle stick, right, a straight, even out of base kibul, is metame. So the Gemara says, let glassware made out, let us a kli pashut glassware should also be metame. Dab shute kli matchas deraisinin, because the a pashut metal kli that conveys tumah is also minatorah. So maybe that would extend to the kli's chochis. So the Gemara says no. Avdi rabbanan ekera. Remember, when you have a tumah midoraisa, so you will come to burn truma if it becomes tameh, and even exer drabanan on a deraisa have the same thing. But exer drabanan not on a deraisa, you would not burn truma. So the chacham made a heker. Since there's a difference between kli zchuchis and kli matches, because a kli matches, a kli pashut, will be matam and a kli zchuchis will not, they won't come to burn truman kochim that touch glassware. They'll just suspend it. You can't eat it, but you can't burn it either. That's one answer. Rashi Amar Lo Elam L'Kli Dumbo. That no. The reason we don't say a kli matre, a kli zchuchis is the kli pashut is metame, because we don't compare it to metal kelim. We compare it to kli cheres. You had a kasher l'chalolit mumigabon. Remember, we said that by an earthenware kli, if by touching the outside of the kli does not convey tumah, it's only when you dangle tumah within the airspace of the kli itself that it combines tumah. So the question is, maybe glassware should, if you're comparing it, says Ravashi, to kli cheres, it should also not be metam if you touch the outside of a glass. Or says, no, hoil v'nira toicha kibaro. What does glassware have unique? You can see inside the kli like you can see the outside of the kli. So the inside is treated like the outside because you can see inside. Therefore, when you touch the outside of a kli zchuchis, even make radin, a kli cheres would not. Here it would be because you can see the inside. Period. Then the Mishnah said, Shimon ben Shetach tiken ksubel isha, the gozer tumah kli matches. It said Shimon ben Shetach, who was another one of the gzugos, he was mesakein financial ksuba for a married woman, and it says he was the one gozer tumah on metal cake. Frek the Gemara clay matches. What do you mean Shimon ben Shetach was gozer deraisa ninu? It's a pasuk in the Torah. Achas hazahav v'esa kesef hanachoshes v'esa barzel es abdil v'esa yifores kol dover sheyovu ba'esh taviru ba'esh v'toyer ach b'nei dila yischata v'chol asher lo yovu ba'esh taviru b'moed. So anything that had food was cooked directly on the fire, you've got to do libun gomer. You got to, in order to be metayar it, you got to make it white hot. Anything that doesn't go directly in the fire, but rather it's cooked with water, right? Like you boil water, so that has to go into a mikvah. That has to go into boiling water, like a kelim, like when we kasher kelim. But it all has to go into a mikveh as well. That's been a Torah. What do we mean? What do we need Shimon ben Shetach to be goyzer tumah? So loy nitzach al tumah yishana. When it says in the Mishnah that Shimon ben Shetach was goyzer tumah on metal kelim, this is this din of old tumah that David Amarav Ma'aseh b'Shel Tzion Hamalka. Now Shlom Tzion Hamalka was the sister of Shimon ben Shetach. Her husband, I think, was Yanai Melech, who killed down all the Chachamim, and eventually Shlom Tzion Hamalka agreed to call Shimon ben Shetach back, who was hiding out in Alexandria, and that saved the Chachamim. So Shlom Tzion Hamalka shasta mishta livno. So Shlom Tzion Hamalka made a party for his son. V'nitmu kol keleha, and all the kelim became tummy. Ushvaras, and they broke him. Unisonan latzarek, they gave it to the guy who melts metal down and refashions it. V'ritchan v'asamen kelim chadoshim. V'amru chacham yachzru tumas yishana. And Shimon ben Shetach said, we're going to make a gzeira to its old tumah. Now the question is, like the way Elazar asked, my time. So mishum geder mechatas nagubo. This was a special din like this because if a metal kli was in a room with a dead body, so the kli now has tumas mace. So in order to be matarit, it has to be sprinkled with paraduma water on the third and seventh day, just like a person is. Now, and that's a complicated process. Rather than do that, people will break their kalim, their metal kalim. That will be matarim, and then they'll take it to their local metal furnace, melt it, and make a new kli. So in order to avoid people doing this, they said, even if you do it, it's going to go back to its original tumah. So so there's a machlokas regarding this tumas yeshana. One mandamer holds it only refers to tumas meis because that was the reason why they did it, because of this problem of the trouble of going through paraduma. But according to mandamer, that says tumah yeshana refers to every tumah. Tumas nevela, tumas sheretz, tumas zav, tumas zava. So then, what's the reason, Mike Lememar? So Omer Abaya, gzeira shemali yukvena b'chdei taraso. Now, if you have a metal kli, in order to break it, you have to make a hole in the bottom, at least the size of a pomegranate. Then it's considered it can't hold anything. Then it's considered that it's been broken. But Abai is worried that they'll break the kli, but not too much. So therefore, even if you break it, it retains its tumah. Or they might think that when you bring it to the mikveh, they can already start using it. They don't realize that you need hair of shemesh. You need the night to fall. So therefore, they made a gzeira of tumah yishon. My binayu. What's the nafkamina between Abai and Rava? For example, in a case where the kli was broken properly. So according to Abaya, maybe there would be no reason to make the gzeira. So you have Rava's shot that people were not careful of waiting until hair of shemesh before using the kli. Okay. Now, idich ma'i. What are the other gzeiros of Beis Shammai? Remember, we said there were 18 gzeiros that were voted on in the attic of Hananya. So what else? It's not. Hameniach kelim tachas atzinor lekabel bahen make shon. Now, we all have a rain spout that protects our roofs, where the rain is directed from our roof to a spout, and then it pours down into our courtyard. Now, let's say a person put a kli to collect the water from this pipe. And if, now, Kalim Gedolim, there are certain Kalim that are so big that they don't Makabal Tumah. And there are certain Kalim that are so small that they don't Makabal Tumah. Echad Kalim K'tanya. Bafilu Klei Avodim, Klei Adom, Klei Gloli. Stoneware, or Kalim made out of dung. All of these cases normally are not Makabal Tumah. But here, since the person voluntarily put this Kli below the rain spout, it's clear that he wants this water. So, and it's carried because it's in a Kli. A mikvah is only kosher if it has rainwater or spring water, not carried water. So the Gemara is saying, if you have a mikvah that's short of 40 saw, and you have 3 lug of this kind of water, even though they came from kalim that otherwise are not mekabel tumah, poisonous on mikvah. And that's echad ameniach ve'echad ashreicheach. That's whether you voluntarily put the kli there, or you forgot that you had put a kli there. There was once a kli, but you forgot. That's divrei Beis Shammai. Beis Hillel metarim b'shreicheach. Beis Hillel says he agrees if someone voluntarily put a kli there that yes, it will. The water will invalidate a kosher mikvah. But if he forgot to put it there, he doesn't agree. Amar Meir Nimnu v'Rabu Beis Shammai al Beis Hillel, that they voted, and there were more Beis Shammai Beis Hillel. However, Moedim Beis Shammai b'shorchech b'chotzer shehu tohor. Now, forget about a drain spout. Let's say the kli was put in the middle of the courtyard itself. So there, if he did it voluntarily, he would also passel the mikvah. But if he forgot the kli there, he would agree with Beis Hillel that it's stolen. Rabbi Yossi, no, adayin machloikas from koim lemedes. This machloikas, even a chotzer, would still be a machloikas. Rav Shashi Rav Amri Yakol Moedim Kishini Chamishas Kishra Avodim. That, let's say it was very cloudy, and he put the kli there in the courtyard to gather water, so everybody agrees it's made. It will passel the mikvah. If he put the kli there, b'shas pizer avim, and then like when the clouds dispersed, he put the kli there, and then later on the clouds came back and it rained, so divrei kol tohorim. So there's no machlokas as well. But here it's clear that the guy didn't want the water, so it would not be the chiyutan. It's clear that he wasn't interested in this water because he put out the kli when there were no clouds. So nobody would hold that it would be makabel tumah. What happened was he put the kli out when there were a lot of clouds. Then the clouds went away. Then it came cloudy again and it rained. Mar Sover, Hillel says, now that there's a new Metzias, right? The clouds went away. Then they reformed. His original machshava, we don't know what his original machshava is now. Maybe it was there, but not now. And therefore, even if it rained, it's not v'chiyutan, and the water would not serve to pasla mikvah. But Umar Savar loy batla machshava. Beis Shammai would hold no. Since his original intent, when there were clouds, there was water. So who cares that the clouds dispersed? Now they came up again. It rained. He wanted the water. However, Rav Yossi, and it says so he has too many. Who says that there was a machloikas here? Then there's not 18. There's 19. There's a gzeira that a girl, even if she's 1 day old, if she has blood that flows from her uterus, she's considered a nida. Now, the Kusim, who were originally, they had converted to Judaism, and then eventually Chachamim negated their conversion, and they really only kept Torah Shebichsav, not Torah Shebal Peh. They made a gzeira that the babies are considered, all of them are considered nidos from the time that they're in the crib. Because we are concerned that they have children who would see blood, but they weren't concerned about tumah. So we have to treat all their babies as if they were nida. This gzeira was established also by the group in Beis Shammai. And then we ask, what else? For Irich Mai, this not. Call a metaltalin mevian esatuma ba'oive amardeya. That if you are standing and you have an item with you, and the item is making an ohel over a mace, and it's making an ohel over you, it will also convey tumah to you. It depends on the thickness of the item that you're holding. Even if it's a small amount, only the width of a saddle is enough. On Rav Tarpon, he disagrees, and we'll learn about this disagreement tomorrow morning.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
9 a.m. tomorrow.
9 a.m. tomorrow.
9 a.m. tomorrow.
By the way,
Excellent.